This is Roshi's Rant, the first segment of the podcast where we deep dive into particular topics on Dragon Ball. And today we're talking about the return of Dragon Ball Super, because that's coming up soon. Apparently, we don't know when, but at some point. And more specifically, we're going to be talking about whether or not the show needs some more transformations. Because everyone loves a good transformation.
It's the inevitable step, more than likely.
Yeah. So I guess... How do you want to split this? We can talk about main characters first and if they need a new transformation or not, and then go from there.
I think the most obvious one we have to look at first is the one that already technically exists and that someone already technically has, which is Vegeta.
Yeah.
And Ultra Ego.
Yeah.
So that already technically exists. He already has it in the manga. So I think they probably have to look at that and say, are we going to follow that vein and are we going to give it to him? Because technically he's already just been in the anime. He's literally just been given a transformation with his super duper blue. So how long did they delay it? Did they just not care? Did they just look at it as what they did with Red and just immediately ignore it and give him Ultra Ego straight away and just go straight into Ultra Ego? Like, do they care? Like, can they just bypass it? I mean, is it really that big a deal?
Ooh, I think the manga readers would be pretty upset by you saying, is it a big deal?
No. I don't mean Ultra Ego.
Oh, the super duper Saiyan Blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, just bypassing that, because it's not really that impactful, really, is it?
It's not visually different in any way from Blue.
No. So stepping straight up to Ultra Ego would just put him more on par with Goku when he's in his Ultra Instinct state. It would make them more balanced, especially after what we saw in the superhero film, after them sparring out of any transformations.
Yeah.
And because he's going to need to get it. People will expect it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'm going to go out on a wild limb here and say, yes, they'll definitely give him it.
Yeah.
100%. They're not going to mess around. I think he'll probably get it. Maybe not in the first arc, but pretty soon into the show, I think.
Yeah. I think they're not going to leave him with his blue form for very long. I don't think they have any attachment to it. The fans don't particularly, I don't think.
I can see this as a main point for the second arc. And the reason I'm saying second arc in particular is because first arc, they're already going to have all the marketing of just the show return and people are going to tune in. It's inevitable. They don't need much hype around it. Second arc, to get people to return again, push that new form. They're going to, and then that's going to bring in the fans. Like, oh, Vegeta's getting a new form, finally. Like, what is it this time? Blah, blah, blah. And then all the toys that they can make with it as well, straight away, of course. Not going to mess around. Every time someone dyes their hair, then they get a new toy. So, yeah, it's going to happen. 100%, I can see that happening. I think Ultra Ego is inevitable. It will come at some point, whether they do the manga arcs or not. I feel like they're going to change it around. But, yeah, I think that form will come.
Yeah, I think they're locked into that. I don't really think they have a choice regardless. So I think I wouldn't even class that as a transformation. I think that's already just expected. So really it's who else gets one.
Yeah, so I mean we've seen it, but Gohan and Piccolo, they'll get their forms officially properly when the show becomes the anime becomes canon again. So,
but I mean, do you even class them as not having it at the minute? I mean,
I don't know. This is the strange thing about Dragon Ball. It's like you can't take the films as canon until they're in the anime. So it's like, I mean, they do have this.
But there'd be so many people that would disagree with you and say that they are locked in now, because a lot of people would disagree with you and say, no, they are canon now. This would be a huge debate and say, no, they're locked in now.
I think they are locked in, let's face it. They are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Broly isn't technically in the anime yet. So, I mean,
are you gonna tell a lot of anime fans now that Broly's not canon. Like, good,
Yeah,
good luck with that.
exactly. So yeah, I mean,
To try and say Broly's not canon to anime viewers now, you would cause a riot. Like,
yeah.
I would say the fandom is quite set on the fact that Broly is canon now.
I think the way the films were as well, they've really lined themselves up for being canon and to take place straight away after the show ended, because they continue straight from where the show ended, and they reference the end of the show, especially the Tournament of Power and stuff, in Broly and in Superhero. So it's like, yeah, they're gonna just continue.
Yeah,
It's gonna happen that way, which is why, I mean, we've mentioned plenty of times, but it's why the manga is kind of in doubt, because the manga takes place. Well, I mean, it's just different. Those two films, the Broly and superhero films, don't happen in the manga. So something has to change.
I think this is the thing. It's like it's at this massive crossroads. Like in terms of for anime fans, Broly is outright. He is canon outright, and I think that's why to the anime fans, Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo are outright just as canon. I don't see why they wouldn't think those transformations are any less canon than Broly being canon.
Yeah,
wouldn't really make any sense for them not to be. Why would one film's content be canon and not the other?
exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, to be honest, yeah, they're already locked in. So for them, stepping into Super 2, I would already consider them there. So for the sake of going into Super 2, I don't even consider them being transformations. I consider them already existing.
Yeah. So apart from them three, the only other one that has appeared in some media is Black Frieza, I guess, which is something I personally would love to see, just because I'm a massive Frieza fan. I love Frieza as a villain, and I want him to do this final hurrah, which it seems like is beginning in the manga. With this whole new Black Frieza arc, I think it will be his final bout or whatever, his final show in Dragon Ball. It has to be at this point. But it's a strange one, because they might not follow the manga route at all, just because of these two films. They might just decide, okay, or maybe they do. Maybe they like the characters from the manga, but they think, you know what, we're just going to rewrite the story so then it fits the timeline properly. And yeah, maybe we'll do things different. It's not going to follow the manga completely. Maybe the characters are going to be involved, but the things that they do and the things that happen aren't the same, just so that it works better.
Weirdly meld it. Yeah. I think that's probably what they'll end up doing. I think they'll probably end up doing that. I think it'll probably upset a lot of people, but to be honest, it's either that or you say it doesn't exist full stop. I think if you do get Black Frieza, you're not getting him for 120 episodes.
Yeah. That's exactly the thing, though, because if we're it's hard to predict how many episodes this new show is going to be. So I'm kind of just looking at it as maybe the same length as Super. Just like 3 main arcs. Well, I got there was 4 arcs, I guess, in original Super. Beerus, if that counts as a full arc, I guess it does. Frieza, Black Goku Black, and Tournament Power. So 4. Those are the 4 main arcs. So if you do 4 arcs again in the return, there's got to be the Galactic Patrol arc to begin.
Yeah.
Then there's Granola. Then I always get confused on which one's which. Is it Gas first? Or what's the other guy called again? The other main bad guy.
So there's the Galactic Patrol. There's something again. There's
Granola.
Yeah. So there's Galactic Patrol, Granola. No, there's Moro. It's not
Moro. That's the name I was forgetting. Yeah. So Moro, then Granola, then Gas. So 4 again.
Yeah.
And then they've only just introduced Frieza. But the Gas arc is the longest arc they've ever had in Dragon Ball. Manga chapters wise, at least anyway. It's the longest running arc that they've ever had, which is quite surprising, really. So, Gas is a big villain. like a massive villain. So it's like that seems like a show ender, if anything, if they're going to do that, because they've got to go through 4 arcs to get to him, and if this last arc is massive, then it's like, are they really gonna go with Black Frieza, or they're just gonna leave it and think, you know what, we're just gonna end it?
I
Like,
mean,
it's interesting.
maybe the Black Frieza thing will have to end quickly because he's so powerful.
Nah, for Frieza's final hurrah, nah, they've got to make it epic.
Maybe, but I think basically you're not getting him until
Yes,
way down the line.
yeah,
Way,
and
way, way down the line.
yeah, and again, they could
But
even just end the show after gas on like a cliffhanger, you know, because in the manga, spoilers alert incoming, you know, but Frieza appears out of nowhere and kills him. So it's like maybe they just end the show there and leave it massive cliffhanger and say maybe we'll return, but you might need to wait another 10 years, and then that's it.
and then everyone would hate everything.
Yeah. Or they just change the end, and so then Goku and Vegeta just get the kill like everyone was kind of expecting, and then they just don't bring back Frieza again, and that's it. But just because of the end of the Tournament of Power and then the Broly film, it's like you've got to bring Frieza back at some point. You need to. You have mentioned him too many times, so you can't.
No, they would definitely end it with Frieza.
Yeah, so you can't just like, you know, not bring him back again.
They've screwed him over too many times to not bring him back.
Exactly. So
it ends with Frieza, I think.
yeah, that's
I
kind
think
of like poetic justice, I guess. You know, the biggest villain in Dragon Ball is Frieza. He has the best arc in Z, potentially, up for debate. He's the most well-known villain in anime, I guess. And yeah, ending the show once and for all with Frieza again, that's fine. I'll be fine with that.
yeah, I think a lot of people they would finally get the satisfactory ending to Dragon Ball that they missed out on with Boo.
Yeah.
And I think that would be exactly what Super would need.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing because, again, people were very salty about Z, and with Super, Super could end comfortably. And I think that's what it really needs. And I think Frieza is the answer to that if Frieza is done correctly.
Yeah.
And I think like someone like Gas, like, is he interesting enough to carry that? If he goes on for too long and people get sick of him, and stuff like that, because with the longer arc, I didn't read the manga or anything like that, but I did hear that the length of the arcs in the manga, people did get a little sick of it, that it was getting a little bit too long.
Yeah, I've seen the tweets of
I
people
don't know if
saying
that was
like,
just
"Is this still
some
going on?"
particular haters or what, because again, I don't read it. I don't know if that was just some particular bad mouthers or what.
I think
No,
the
but
thing that's making people feel like that is the fact that they only release a chapter every like month or so. So
yeah,
it's like it's been 6, 7, 8 months, and people are like, "Oh, this is still going on," but in reality, it's like, yeah, maybe a few pages here and there, and
yeah.
then they're waiting again for another month. So it's like maybe it doesn't feel so long if you just read it all back to back, or you know, if when they animate it and they get around to doing it, then maybe it won't take so long. But yeah.
'Cause I suppose imagine if you have the Frieza fight against Goku on Namek, and that's a long fight. Now imagine you had that fight going on for 5 times longer than it actually did, being as long as it did, and you were only getting a page per however.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're gonna want something other than that fight, aren't you?
Yeah.
So if it is the case of that's how people were beginning to feel, fair enough. You're gonna want a mix up. You're gonna want something new. So again, I'm I I can't really fully comment because it's not something I've read, but it would be understanding if that's the case that sometimes you do need a change and you need to freshen things up.
Yeah.
Um, it will be something we'll need to look into. Um, and but I think that when Black Frieza does, I think he will end up making an appearance in Super 2, and I think he should be the poetic ending. I think he's the sort of transformation that's perfectly acceptable. Yeah, I don't think he's an unnecessary aspel, so to speak, transformation, because we already know he exists.
Yeah, and he's not dead. So it's like, what's he been doing? And of course he would come back in new form. He got golden form after, how long was it, 3 months? Let's say, yeah, of course. Send him away, make him stronger, bring him back with a new form. It just makes sense. Even if it wasn't Black Frieza, they can do anything. Blue Frieza, Green Frieza, who cares? But just a new form. Tall Frieza. Why not?
Yeah. Just make him like more like Cooler.
Yeah, exactly. Or bring him back with Cooler, we've talked about that before as well. But yeah, what about people who haven't had a form revealed in the manga or films? Is there anyone you see maybe getting a new form?
Well, we need to think about what's going to happen to Broly. I think he's the one we need to think about next.
He's the obvious one.
Yeah, because does he classify as a transformation? Does his control classify as a transformation?
Of course it does. Let's face it, everything that is slightly different about a Dragon Ball character equals a new form. Yeah, so, yeah, it will be.
I want to know if they're just going to control his fury, or if he's going to get God. I don't know if I want him to get God.
It's interesting. I never really thought about him getting God, but it makes sense since he's training with Beerus and Whis now. So why wouldn't he?
Because it would take away from his uniqueness, if that's the right word.
I guess.
Like him going green, him going big green.
Yeah.
Like when he gets angry, he turns green. He becomes the legendary Super Saiyan, and that's
legendary Hulk.
Yeah, and that's where he gets that power from. And it's an unlimited source of power. He destroyed Goku and Vegeta when he drew upon that power. And if he can control that power, he's stronger than God form. He doesn't need to be. So why does he need to go God? He doesn't.
Yeah, I agree.
So why does he need God form? There's no reason for him to.
He doesn't, but I could see it as a cop-out.
Yeah, I think it would be so much better if he could control it, and then he can stay like maybe smaller Broly, or you can like maybe not like proper small. Like he still changes his features to become like a little bit bigger. Like he still gets the angry face and everything like that. Like he doesn't stay like happy, smiley friend with Chila Broly. Like he still gets that hulking form, but just like not massive, scary, uncontrolled. So you can see he's got like a form of control in him. But you can still see his green power up and everything like that. And you can see he's able to draw on the strength and everything. I think that'd be so much better for him. And we would expect that. And I think that's an expected path for Broly. I do not want him to get God. I'm not interested in that. I have 2 blue Super Saiyans and whatever.
You have 2 at home. You don't need a third.
Yeah. Well, why do we need another God? We don't. Like we've got 2. We've got them on their path.
Yeah.
And they're advancing that into Ultra Ego or to Instinct. That's his. That would be his path. Like there's nowhere for him to go that's interesting. So he's got a whole new path that's interesting for him to evolve.
Yeah, so I'll be fine with that as well. And there's plenty of characters. I've got a few in mind that I can see returning to have like a new form as well. Like, for example, I think Kale, Caulifla, and Cabba will all get a new form. I think they're very highly likely to return when the show returns. But again, these aren't in the manga at all, which is like, this is why I don't think they're going to go down the manga route this hard. Because there's no way these guys aren't going to return. Hit, Champa, they're all going to return. They're all fan favourites now introduced. So they've got to bring them back in some capacity, even if it is just a mini arc here and there. But they're going to return. They have to. They can't just ignore them. So
Hit will, definitely. Hit and Cabba will, definitely.
Yeah. And I can see the rest of them coming back as well. And I think Vegeta will teach Cabba how to go further beyond and unlock, maybe, I don't even know which form. Which form would he teach Cabba? He wouldn't teach
Red,
him God,
red god, maybe.
would he though? That seems like a high form to get.
It's his next step. You can't teach him 3, can
Hmm.
he? You can't teach him 3. Vegeta's a
Yeah,
punk.
I guess that is Vegeta's next form, isn't it? After 2, he
Yeah,
just goes to God.
Vegeta's a punk. You can't teach him. He wouldn't teach him. He won't teach him Hulking 2 because he doesn't like it. He hates that form.
Hmm.
How many times has he told off Trunks for it?
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess. Oh, Red God Kappa, that would be interesting. But
That is literally the next step.
hmm,
For Vegeta, it's 2 straight to Red God.
yeah, but yeah, I can see him getting some sort of new form, whatever it is. I can see Kappa getting it, and I can. Well, actually, I reckon it could be Blue, because that's the one he flexes in front of Kappa and says, "Look, this is what you could become." So it's a
Was that
callback.
not discussed? That was his top tier.
Well,
He's
yeah,
like,
but exactly that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you can go Super Saiyan. I can do this. I'm blue now. It's like, so I feel like maybe he could end up teaching
I like
Kappa.
how it's like we became gods, but then we went beyond it and we
Yeah.
became blue. So it's like
Yeah, make it
no,
make sense.
God sounded so much better. Vegeta, stop.
Yeah, but I could see Kale and Caulifla learning like Super Saiyan 3. I think that would be a cool one for them, especially since they've already got long hair. How's that going to look?
She, yeah, Caulifla was begging Goku to teach her 3.
Yeah, so I can
Um,
see that happening.
um, Kale hates Goku though.
Yeah, but just because she's strong, I think she'll get over it. I think she just will.
I think
Just
it'll be interesting episodes and stuff. I think
mm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. They'll probably try and make a meme of the episode.
Yeah, just because Goku's the character that everyone ends up liking in the end. It's
Mm.
like he'll just end up convincing Kale that he's a nice guy, and then she'll fall for him and be like, "Oh yeah, okay, fine, I trust you." Blah blah. Let's
It's
forgive and forget.
basically the same way Chile hated Goku
Hmm.
and Broly immediately liked him, and now they're all besties.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing's gonna happen. I can see it happening, especially when Caulifla starts like mildly flirting slash training with him, and she'll
Yeah.
be like, "You know what? Yeah, all right, I trust you." But there's only 2 other people who I could see getting a new form, because I don't see Hit getting a new form. I feel like he's a one and done type guy.
Well, he said that he doesn't power up.
Yeah.
He intentionally pretended to power up
Hmm.
to develop his abilities. So all he does is just flexes. He literally says he just flexes his pocket, which is a
Yeah.
weird statement. But
I
yeah.
think there's potential we might see him without a coat on. But apart from that, I don't think we'll see anything else from Hit. But there is 2 more characters I can see with new forms. One of them, Pan. I can see her becoming Super Saiyan, even if it's just a off the cuff scene,
Yeah,
just
that's
at some
fine.
point. And the other character, Jiren. I can see Jiren coming back. Again, he's too big of a character at this point, even though I don't personally like him and I think he's pretty boring. He's too big of a character, and at the minute, the ultimate rival currently, he is the strongest person who they've come up against who isn't Beerus
Mhm.
or a god.
Yeah.
So he is the ultimate person for them to challenge again in a fight. And with Goku getting better and better at Ultra Instinct, I feel like Jiren needs something to match, so he'll go one step beyond his whole big hulking phase as well and learn some new form. I can see that
I think
happening.
I'd be interested to see what he could actually look like because he's gone full power mode,
Yeah.
which is just bulky.
Hmm.
Like, I wonder what he could actually look like.
I don't know, but I mean, we've seen Toppo transform into the God of Destruction, so it's yeah,
Should have been the bad guy.
he should have been the ultimate, but whatever. But yeah, Jiren, I can see him maybe getting another form. Why not? I don't know. I can't even speak. Turn him into a full generic alien, and his next form be really skinny. Same head, just skinny body and limbs, and that would be it. Yeah, why not?
Maybe Jiren grows hair.
Whoa,
Oh,
imagine. How would that even look? I couldn't even picture it. Weird.
Full like Hulk Hogan hair, like just around the side.
Just the sides. Yeah, and long down.
Yeah,
Oh
no, he could
god.
like get horns or something like that, or
Yeah,
some
maybe.
weird stuff.
Why not? I mean, when people transform, when bad guys transform, they usually grow noses and ears. So why not? I mean, I think June has a nose and ears already, but horns, yeah, go for it.
I think out of the good guys, I think there's. I don't think our main ones, Goku and Vegeta. I don't think there's anything they need just yet.
Nah, I don't think they need. Well, I mean, apart from the Ultra Ego, which we've already said will come at some point, I can't see Goku getting anything else. It's really not needed at this point. How can you get better than Ultra Instinct? Let's face it. What are you supposed to do after that? There's
Yeah,
nothing.
like he would have to have developed past Whis,
Mm,
who has perfect Ultra Instinct.
yeah,
Like
unless
the angels have perfect Ultra Instinct, don't they? Like,
yeah, unless he also gets that and his skin turns blue as well. But I don't see that happening.
like, because there's levels of Ultra Instinct, isn't there?
Mm,
Like he's just got like the baby form.
mm,
Like there's levels of mastered Ultra Instinct, and
yeah,
he's still got the baby form, so he still needs to do better with it.
mm,
So that'll be his development arc with it.
yeah,
You don't just get it and then you're good with it. You still have to be better with it.
yeah,
And yeah, Vegeta, like I don't think he'll get Ultra Ego and then just toss it aside. I think
yeah.
he'll be like, I think he'll have that for pretty much the entire thing. I
Exactly.
think it'll be too good a form for him to just toss aside, even across the many episodes.
Yeah.
I think
So
they're locked in.
yeah, do you have any other characters in mind that you think might get a new form?
No, I think the rest of the Z Warriors are pretty much either given up on, or
Unfortunately.
we've got our other boys. We've got Piccolo. We've got Gohan.
Yeah, too many new characters introduced now that are taking focus, like Broly as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
but
and they've tossed aside Beerus. He doesn't need it. He's got the
yeah, he doesn't need a new
destruction.
form.
Yeah, he would just develop Ultra Instinct. He's
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
never going to fight again anyway.
Exactly.
So no.
Yeah, so I think that's it for the characters. I think we can wrap up this segment there.
Yep.
But yeah, please leave some comments. Who do you think will get new forms in the Return of Super? Is there anyone you agree or disagree with? We would love to know. Leave some comments. And yeah, we'll move on now to our new segment. Oh, getting into it with something new, which is everything wrong with. So let's jump into it.